I'm ready.
All right, we have a recording in process, Wendy. We're back on a Zoom call,
We are.
and we had some of our listeners that wanted to see our faces. So this is our faces. I'm
These are
Trey.
our faces. I'm Wendy. I'm the oldest. He's the youngest.
True, we're 14 months apart, brother and sister.
Yep.
So anyway, let's get into this. So we do our weekly podcast, and we're going to try to do this on Zoom today. Let's get into it about SEC football, Wendy. It's one of our best topics. It's what we kind of live for in the fall. And we're going to run over last week's games. Wendy, is that all right with you? What do you got?
Yeah, but I don't know how you cannot start with Auburn. You have to start with the Auburn. You have to start with the Auburn game. That was just crazy. That was the craziest game of the day.
Okay, this is the season 2022. Auburn has beaten Texas A&M in a shootout 13-10.
Yep. Worst, best game I've ever seen. The literal worst, best game I've ever seen. But way to go, Auburn. I told you when they let Cadillac Williams in there that two things were going to happen. These kids were finally going to get excited. You see what I'm saying? And then this guy could come in there and do something. This guy could come in there and do something. And I'm going to tell you, they've got the whole stadium rocking. Again, they sell out every show, no matter what, Trey. They sell out every game, whether they're winning or losing. So way to go, Auburn. Way to not lose to Jimbo Fisher's crappy Texas A&M team. Way to go, Auburn, for finally pulling one out this season.
Big time win. And once again, Wendy, you're watching Auburn because Auburn has a good atmosphere. They're jacked up, the Cadillac Williams thing. And I've told everybody on the podcast all year that I was not going to watch Texas A&M play another game. And I had to watch that game, and I still stick true to my. It's the ugliest football on planet Earth. Like, They don't have a clue what's going on. So Auburn ends up winning that game. Let's bump through here, Wendy. We're gonna try to keep this around 10 minutes if we can. I don't know. There's not a clock anywhere on here, but here we go. Let's go to still in last week's game. Georgia, Mississippi State. Georgia blows out Mississippi State.
Best team in the world, the greatest team in the world that's ever lived is the Georgia Bulldogs. It's just that simple. They're just that good.
Georgia will never lose another football game
in their history of their lives.
In the whole history of the world. Florida drills your boys, South Carolina, 38-6.
Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe how ugly South Carolina looked. Here's the thing about Beamer. I want Beamer to be a little bit more consistent. I really don't understand this back and forth. Like, he should be able to consistently beat some of these teams, but it will have these blowout wins and then turn around the next weekend and get blown out by a team that is not as good as them. It makes Shane Beamer's South Carolina team makes no sense to me right now. I don't understand what's going on over there. It's every other week we get a different team, and I'm with you. It doesn't make them fun to watch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Alabama beats Ole Miss, Wendy, in a game. We're Alabama fans. We like SEC, but we kind of pull for Alabama. Destiny really gets on to me about having an Alabama slight, and I'm like, well, we're Alabama fans. Right. But we might not care as much as some Alabama fans, but I mean, we do cheer for Alabama.
Yes, I cheer for the University of Alabama. That's who I cheer for.
Alabama beats Ole Miss 30-24 in a really great game, which I guess Alabama just plays in great games now on the road.
Yep, that's it. So I'm with you. I've just decided that road Alabama games are not going to be what they were 3 years ago, and it's going to be. And Trey, I'm really trying to get back to football the way you're watching it right now, which is just, we're not going to blow every team out by 50. Talent's gotten better. The SEC in itself has gotten better. But what it showed me was Lane Kiffin is a phenomenal coach. We know that. We know he had a good game plan. So with Lane Kiffin's best game plan, Alabama still came in there and won it. So I'm going to go back to, we've lost 2 games by a total of 3 or 4 points. I mean, that's it. So I'm taking that win. We needed that win. We needed that win to get into this Auburn game. I know we have a weird game this week, but we've got Auburn in a couple weeks. So I just think Alabama pulling this game out showed the country that we've not really gone anywhere. As much as y'all want us to go, we've not really gone anywhere. But I do think we needed that win as a fan base. I'm not prepared to lose 3 games in a season yet. I'll tell you
where we're not going. We're not going to the playoffs this year.
No, we are not.
And we got a free weekend in December that we're normally doing something. So I don't know. I might get into hiking again or something. I don't know. I mean, we got a bunch of off time now. So
now we have off time. Totally agree. But Alabama pulled it out. And let me say this about Lane Kiffin. I think he put on a great game, but I'm glad it was us that won. Because I'm now a Lane Kiffin fan again. I know I got off of him last year, but now I'm back on Lane Kiffin.
Oh, and as the world turns, right, Wendy, Tennessee ends up beating Missouri. Ended up being a really good game. All the way to the third quarter. Then the third quarter, Tennessee just turned it on and blasted people. Tennessee's really, really good. Vanderbilt gets his first SEC win
Over Kentucky
at Kentucky, and not a good look for Kentucky.
Man, that's not good. They've lost a few like that this year, but man, with their talent, with Levi, I don't see it. I don't know what's going on in Kentucky.
Their quarterback's not as good as they thought. So
that's all I came up with too, is this quarterback may not be as good. And they don't have a good run game this year. They've had a really good run game the last few years. They don't have that this year. So Kentucky goes down again to Vandy.
LSU beats Arkansas to dash the hopes of all Alabama fans out there. LSU beats Arkansas 13-10 in another really ugly game. But Wendy, there's a Perkins Jr. guy, number 40, that plays for LSU. He might be the best player of the year. They were saying freshman of the year. This guy, his name is Perkins Jr. He's a defensive player. He's number 40. Wendy, he literally took over the game in the Arkansas game, and is the reason LSU won the game. So big star there.
Big game, but I'm going to go to Arkansas. I thought Sam Pittman and Nick Saban were really good friends. The fact that we lost out of our run by 3 points really gets me. I mean, I would have rather have seen LSU blow them out, just beat the tar out of them then. But you kept us all thinking. Trey, into the last 2 minutes, I thought we could still win that game, meaning Arkansas for Alabama. I still thought we could win the game. It's just nobody will ever do what Alabama needs them to do to get through some of these times. Man, I hate it. I hate it when nobody, but we do what everybody else needs us to do. Like, we didn't win, so everybody else can get in.
Oh, here we go.
But Trey, real quick, because I know you want to keep it to 10 minutes, but that TCU game had bigger implications than any of us want to talk about. So TCU beating Texas, I think that's going to keep 2 SEC teams out this year. I think TCU is getting in, and I think Texas, their only shot of losing was Texas. So TCU will go undefeated.
Yeah, and until TCU's in the playoffs, I'm not going to watch them.
Right.
I'm just not.
Trey, I may not watch them in the playoffs unless they play an SEC team.
Yeah.
If it's Ohio State TCU, I might skip it.
All right, so let's get to this week's games, Wendy. And Alabama plays Austin Peay.
I mean, surely we'll win. I mean, going with that.
I don't like, and this is the time we did last year on the podcast. Like, who schedules these games?
Well, there is one good SEC game, as weird as it sounds. It's Tennessee, South Carolina. At least it's an SEC matchup.
Tennessee, South Carolina, correct. Tennessee's going to go into South Carolina and drill them. Probably, I don't know. Maybe it'll be an early game. Tennessee falls asleep and Beamer will come up for, with something. Now that would be epic if South Carolina could beat Tennessee, but Wendy, it's not going to happen. Tennessee is too good.
They're too good.
Ole Miss and Arkansas, nobody cares.
Not anymore. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nobody care game. And you have UAB and LSU. Wendy, that's about it for the SEC. What is going on?
It does, but isn't the big Michigan Ohio State game this weekend? Isn't that this weekend?
No, that's next weekend.
Next weekend. Okay. Well, then really, guys, for the SEC, we've got Georgia in. We've got Tennessee hanging around at 5. I think too much has to happen this year for Tennessee to get in. I think their really ugly loss against Georgia isn't helping them any. I think this year we see 2 Big Ten teams in. I think we see Michigan and Ohio State, TCU and Georgia. You think they do Georgia, Tennessee over Michigan, Ohio State?
Yes, no question. If there's any other team that's going to get in, it's going to be Tennessee, hands down. Everything would have to fall completely off the rails for Tennessee not to get in. They'll get in over a 1-loss Michigan team.
Okay.
They'll get in over a 1-loss USC team.
Wow. Okay.
That's my opinion. I don't know what will actually happen, but that's my opinion. So I don't know.
I think they're always looking for a reason because the SEC is so dominant that this year, because we've had some of the bigger players drop off, like the Alabamas and that of the world, I don't think LSU can beat Georgia in an SEC championship game. So that takes LSU out with their couple of losses. I don't know, man. I just think that if they're trying to turn the tide some of going away, a little bit away from the SEC to try to make some of these other conferences relevant, then maybe. But my 50-50, I'm going with, if TCU doesn't lose, I'm going with 2 Big Ten teams. That's going to be my call. I don't think they're going to give it to us this year.
Well, let's see
We shall see.
Wendy, what else is going on? How do you like this Zoom thing?
You know what, Trey, I really like it because I can see the emotion. So like when we were doing it, when we were together, I could see your face. It's a little bit easier to read off of you and how you're feeling. If you're getting ready to talk, I love Zoom. I absolutely love it.
So
I don't know.
Do you feel like we're vibing, or do you not feel like we're vibing?
Oh, I feel like we're vibing better on the Zoom than we do on the phone call. This is more like what we were doing last year when we were in the same state. Because I feel like I can see now what you're thinking and what you're getting ready to say, so I'm not interrupting you so much.
Right,
That's the key. Because sometimes on a phone call.
Lights. I forgot to add my Christmas lights.
Oh, you did? We'll put it on there.
Well,
can you not do it?
I don't know.
Do those sunglasses.
Let me see something. Nah, I think we're in the recording. I don't think it'll let me do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump off here. We're going to look. So and let's promote this a little bit. So we've got a new YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Trey and Wendy. What's my sister on one? And you're Wendy, obviously. Yes. I'm Trey. So we have the YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and type in Trey and Wendy. You'll see a picture of us. And you'll see some of these episodes, and we're going to record some different ones. We like doing this. I don't know why we like doing this.
We don't either.
It's fun to do, and we're going to try to do some more of them. Wendy, what else you got?
That's all I've got, babe. I mean, just not a great. We're not even having a party this Saturday. We're just going to let I know it's not an off week, but just kind of get some things done, get some more Christmas put up. But Trey, really just looking forward to not this week, but next weekend's games. I mean, that prep for Alabama Auburn's always a fun week. So I'm just really excited about the next podcast to talk about that.
No, I agree. I've got to sell some insurance today.
All right. Well, good luck, babe. I'll have my Christopher, by the way, just turned 15 years old. My sweet little baby just turned 15 on Monday. So he's going
to be driving.
He'll be driving his permit. And then next year, Trey, we can add him to the policy. So I would give you some business today, but he's not 16 yet. So you'll have to wait a year.
All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
I love you. Roll Tide.
All right. Bye.
Bye.